Hi, folks. You are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in the armpit of the San Gabriel Valley. That guy out there is
Rick Levy in the San Pasqual Valley of Southern California.
He's Rick and I flipped over this brand El Sativo. That is the reposado. Tonight we're going to taste and dissect the Anejo. This is brand new, folks. I mean, it came on the scene last year, and we were very lucky enough to get the Blanco. For us, it was a brand of promise winner in the organic Blanco category, and now they've got an organic, certified organic, USDA and kosher Anejo. The one thing they didn't get to us was cell sheet material. In other words, we don't know anything about this tequila, and there's nothing on the website, right, Rick? There's
right. Yeah. We know it comes out of NOM 1480, Tequila Las Americas in Amatitan. Right. And we're just huge fans of pretty much everything that comes out of 1480. Amatitan has that fantastic, it's known for the particular minerality in the character of the tequilas that come out of there. And there's just so much great organic agave farming that's happening in Amatitan as well. And, the folks at 1480, they're able to do organic from end to end. And there's just fantastic stuff.
Yeah, we were really impressed with that reposado. It had a lot of character than I suspected, because it looked lighter than some reposados that we're used to having. But this is the Anejo. We're gonna pour this sucker, and I'm using my Glencairn. And again, we know nothing about we don't know how long it's been rested. We know nothing. Rick is using his Tazo Jarrito. Also made by they make Glencairn for Glencairn. This is a deep, rich color. I thought maybe it was dark because how sometimes the labels will play tricks on you as far as darkening the tequila, but it's as dark as it is in the bottle. Again, lovely legs and tears. I think that's got to be another characteristic of anything coming out of 1480. Those string of pearls, they cling naturally. There's nothing. It's not like they're hesitant to come down. It's just, look at that.
Yeah, it's beautiful to watch.
These are really pretty. It's very attractive to look at. So far, I'm enchanted by the color and the look.
Yeah,
that's some pretty stuff. I'm not sure if the people listening to us can see this, but I'll try to describe it with you. It's what we call a string of pearls, and yeah, there you go. Wow, that's some pretty legs and tears. That's when they start to sheet down. That's when we refer to them as legs or tears. Otherwise, when they're clinging in a crown, like a string of pearls, we call that, or a crown of pearls, whatever you want to call it. I call it a string of pearls. Now, I'm not getting the aromas we were getting in the reposado.
Are you thinking maybe they switched up the barrels for the Anejo?
Well, it's deeper now. I'm getting, no, wait a second. It's opening up for me. Let's put it that way, okay? I really need to let it open up. It's blooming, as we say in the wine business. Now I'm getting more, but they're deeper, richer wood notes. That's just interesting now, because the reposado sang to us. There was everything. There was a whole spectrum, rainbow of aromas coming out of the repo. Right now, this is kind of one-sided. And not that that's a bad thing. I mean, oak heads might just like it like that. It's a little alcohol down in the center, like it's supposed to be. Nothing serious. It's not going to burn your nose hairs or anything like that. It's mainly wood. It's char. It's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's almost okay. Let me say this: it's almost reminiscent of a bourbon nose versus a whiskey nose. That's what I'm sensing. Is there's a difference now. Maybe a little bit lighter tropical fruit, like a dried fruit, but just really light.
Right. Not the deeper dried fruit.
No, no, not like dried cherries or anything like that.
Yeah, you can smell what the char is doing.
Yeah, there's not as much complexity not coming out right now, not presenting itself right now, and I'm not sure if it's because it hasn't opened, or is if maybe that's just what that maybe that's what they were going for. I say we dive in, man, because it's really one-sided.
All right.
Let's see what we get here. Okay. Wow. Everything that we tasted in the reposado is in the anejo, but amplified.
Really? That's what you're getting?
Yeah, at first pass. It's sweeter for me. I'm not sure why.
I think the creamy quality that we had in the reposado feels a little bit thinner here in the Anejo. And I don't know if I would say amplified, but it's leaning, for me, it's leaning much more in the kind of direction of the oak and the char.
Yeah.
And, before in the reposado, it was like singing vanilla and butterscotch. And, this is, I think I'm starting to get some dried fruit. There probably is some butterscotch.
Well, the nose and the flavor um, are the same. Whatever you're smelling, you can anticipate in the liquid. Uh,
I guess
that
I'm getting some of that sweetness now too.
there's more of that
It's interesting.
there's more of that hot pepper thing, but I still don't want to call it hot cinnamon because there's no baking spices involved here. I'm not getting that. It's almost like they went heavy on the char, so that
Right.
all you get is wood, and these are for oak heads. I think that's
Yeah.
what we're going for, and that's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. It's
Yeah,
just
it's a char that's dominating.
yeah. I will say if you're anticipating sensing more of what you got in the reposado, you're not going to get that. It's again what I'm starting to see the trend here is that even within the same brand, it's almost as if they're coming up with three different expressions for three different drinkers.
Right. Yeah. It's not just the progression of time in the barrel.
No, no, and we're used to seeing that. That's traditionally how it's done. We want to see how it progresses. But now this is, I think you and I have done a few. I know I've done several with other tasters where within the same brand, the expressions are different. So it's almost like they're
Yeah.
attacking a different microcosm or a different
Different market.
different
It's
market.
like three different products on the same line.
Yeah, Yeah, and then some of them, like Mi Genta, that you and I did, it's almost as if, no, actually, I did that with Eric. It's almost as if they're completely bypassing the añejo category and coming up with a strong blanco and a really strong reposado, because with that much character in reposado, who needs an añejo? This is
Yeah.
this is an añejo for oak heads.
I think I might be getting some raisin.
Yeah, or like a prune maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And, not just on the nose, but on the palate as well. I think, it's that kind of the sweetness I'm picking up is like that raisin or prune sweetness, I think.
You asked me about the repo if I would pair it with a cigar. And then after I said what I said, I said I can't wait to taste the añejo. This one you can pair with a robust cigar and it'll stand up.
Right. Because from the chart, it has almost a smoky quality to it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a Scotch drinker or you're into like Pappy Van Winkle, that sort of if you lean in that direction, this is not going to disappoint you. It's a valid category to go after. It's probably a dominating character. Yeah, but it's not as complex. It's really just one-sided. It's just this is who we are. This is what we do. This is where we're going. And I get it. I understand it. And it's not that it's not blooming for me. I will say that I really enjoy the complexity, the layers involved in a reposado. That to me, that's a work of art.
Yeah.
This one is just made for a whole other category of people. And again, not that that's a bad thing. It's still an organic añejo.
Yeah.
So
it's a valid profile, but it's really discontinuous.
There's really a lot of sweetness as well, but it finishes dry. I think because of the char. The sweetness to me was, at least at the entry, was reminiscent of the reposado, but once it gets to mid palate, it changes completely to what it really is. Are we getting any agave in this? Do you think?
The Blanco had a lot of character to it, and I'm not picking that up. I'm not picking up those notes here.
Yeah, I'm not either. And again, not a bad thing. We're not dissing the brand, because I'll tell you what, I think Rick will agree with me. It's a brand of promise nominee in the Anejo category.
They can definitely compete.
Yeah, for sure.
Category.
You can compete even outside the organic category. I think maybe that's what what they're going for. They wanted to compete with the mainstream that's out there, and they did it right. This is a valid flavor profile. If I had my choice between the Repo and the Anejo, myself, I would go Reposado. Okay, but that's just me. You guys might be different. Oak heads will not be disappointed. Cigar smokers will not be disappointed. If you want to give this as a gift, you will not be disappointed. And I think it's sweet enough. Here's the thing. I think on the entry, it's sweet enough to attract the female market that leans in that direction. Not that they all do, because I know plenty of women that want to have their tequila and their mezcal, grab them by the shirt collar and shake them a little bit. And that's cool. I like that. But I think this is it's like a unitard. It fits everybody.
There's plenty of guys that lean toward that profile as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, anybody who's have Clase Azul is going to lean in that direction, right? But for the true oak head who really appreciates his whiskey and his scotch, this one's for you. Cigar clubs out there. I know that there are several. In fact, Jim, one of our TJs, has his own cigar club, and he likes to bring his tequilas and stuff. This is a great one for a cigar club, and there are plenty of cigar places in Southern California and other states that meet regularly and have and try different spirits, and they do the pairings. this one right here, the El Sativo. Don't. This is a sleeper in the oakhead category. Okay, it's gonna surprise you.
Would you do uh, an old fashioned or a Manhattan with this?
Absolutely. I think so. Well, you're the one that's got the classic cocktails down. Alex likes to experiment, so he'll put other things in classic cocktails that don't normally go there. But you may, yeah, definitely put this in a
It's,
cocktail.
I do enjoy a Latin Manhattan made with something that has that Amatitan minerality
There
as
you
sort of
go.
a departure from your typical Manhattan profile.
Yeah. Well, next time I visit you, and I'm threatening you now, I'm going to come down, and I'm not coming empty-handed, okay? But yeah, we're gonna, he's famous for his cocktails, folks. Uh, and so is my sister-in-law. She's famous for her martinis, which I love. I'm not even a martini drinker, but she can make me a martini, and two of those, and I'm done, man. Wow. So anyway, yeah, I think that this is cocktail worthy in your classic. So this is worthy in a classic sort of way. If you're, in a gentleman's club, in a woman's club, whatever, if you guys meet and drink together socially, this is not going to disappoint. I think this is really a meetup tequila. I really like where they went with this, because every one of these is different. From the Blanco to the Repo to the Anejo. It's, again, that's the trend, folks. It's the trend. It's what's coming up now. It's what more and more brands are doing. You're not going to see a natural progression of tequila from Blanco to Añejo. You're going to see three different profiles to fit three different individuals, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
As it's opening up, the dried fruit is coming out more for me.
Yeah, the more I go down in this, as I sip my sample down, and again, get yourself a really great glass. Get a Glencairn or get a Stasso Jarrito, because that's going to help you dissect what we're talking about. And you may find other stuff out of it. I don't know. Tell us in the
And it
comments.
also, and if the tequila you picked up is trash, this is going to tell you right away.
Yeah.
So you can't hide anything. You can't hide a diffuser from the Jarrito.
No. As a matter of fact, we used to say years ago, when the Riedel came out, when it became popular in 2001, we used to say that the Riedel would bring out the nasty in the tequila, and then people discovered how to mask the nasty. But a Glencairn or a Stasso Jarrito, Stasso makes Glencairn, by the way.
Yeah.
Either one of those brings out the nasty in a tequila.
Yeah, and they're a very similar shape. This is a wide bell, narrow chimney. It creates the surface area in an enclosed space to really allow the aromas to concentrate and then get focused through the chimney. And
Rick actually
wrote.
You actually wrote a big dissection of the glass when Jarrito asked us.
Yeah, so we were involved. We were involved in evaluating the initial prototypes when the Jarrito was in the design process.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that experience. It was my first experience in that kind of an evaluation, and I took it very seriously, and I did this whole analysis of where the focus is and all of that, and much like the way they have evaluated various wine glasses.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a fantastic experience.
If you haven't figured it out yet, Rick is our closet nerd.
I'm not a closet nerd. No, I wear it proudly.
No, you're a fool.
No,
He's out of the closet a long time ago, and yeah, he's the guy that, when things need to be dissected. We did. If you watch our Mero, our dissection of Armero was due to him, because I couldn't keep it straight in my head.
I have to understand.
He has a whole diagram. He has a Venn diagram of this whole. We had like 7 just watch the review, folks. There are seven different iterations of Armero in 7 different glass bottles or plastic bottles.
No, they were glass.
Well, yeah, they were. Well, a couple of them were like encased in plastic. But Rick did the dissection of each of the flavor profiles and the brands and where the root of that brand came from. And it was eye-opening for me to go through that whole thing. I think we did the whole tasting in like one night, right? We did all 7 profiles.
God, it was a marathon, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy. You got to watch that video, folks. So anyway, so Rick, he helps us really dive. If you want to dive deep into some of these tequilas, that's why I send Rick. Make sure that he gets some of these samples because
a wine, a wine expert is called a sommelier.
Yeah.
And, a tequila expert is a catador.
Right.
And I like to think of myself as a catadork.
Okay, folks, you heard it from the horse.
I claim to be, an expert, but I'm certainly a dork.
He's got samples, folks. Oh my God! If he off camera, he showed me a sample that he's hoarded of Clase Azul. It's horrendous. Okay, but anyway, I won't go into that. This is a whole other thing. Maybe for a whole other video. But right now, that's our take on El Sativo Anejo. This is organic and kosher, folks. It's safe for you. You can have it on holidays, on high holidays, and you can also drink it with pride.
It's absolutely safe for the oak heads in your life.
Yes. Also, they do a lot of work. Go check them out. El Sativo. I guess it's elsativo.com. They do a lot of charity work as well. They support the bartender community as well. The owners behind the brand come from varied backgrounds. One of them is actually an entertainer. The other one, Bob Summers, is I think a scientist.
There's this whole lifestyle collective kind of around this brand. It's like when we got the original Blanco, they sent us this whole swag box, included like sunglasses.
You're wearing the shirt, yeah.
I'm wearing the shirt, and there was, these beautiful handmade, brooches. I've got one on my cowboy hat up there, and I pinned another one on here. These people are no joke, man. They are serious as a heart attack when it comes to their tequila, and I love it. I love supporting brands like this. Again, Brand Promise nominee in the Anejo category. It's El Sativo. What do we know about the pricing before we sign off? Old Town Tequila has it for $49.99.
That's cheap. Oh my God, we're gonna need a bigger truck. We're gonna need a bigger truck just to back up the truck, load it up. But anyway, folks, that's our take on El Sativo Anejo. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That guy out there is
Rick Levy, a little bit further south.
A little bit further south. You've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Give us a like. And follow Rick. Follow us on all of our social media. But whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.